At Tamworth Road, the Lichfield Canal Trust has had to cut down some trees. Not something they undertake lightly, but it is unavoidable because the trees were either on the canal route or their roots would impact on the structure of the canal. Cutting through the roots would harm the tree and make it unsafe. So, in consultation with the property owners, the decision was made to bring in specialist contractors over 3 days in February to clear the area required for the new Lock 24.
Well, behind us are the team from our arboricultural partner, Green Escapes Lichfield. They're helping us today through root mitigation work. Basically, through our enabling surveys along this next section of restoration, it was found that the roots from probably about 5 or 6 trees are actually going to probably interfere with the canal. And we took further advice and we decided that the best thing to do was to approach our neighbours in 2 gardens down the stretch and have the trees professionally removed. Now, although that's sad, and especially as, from my point of view, especially as environmental trustee and also as someone who's into nature conservation, I'm saddened to see trees removed. But on the plus side, this is firstly a non-native species, but also we're going to be using all of the material, all the waste material from the tree. The brash is going to be chipped and actually transported about a mile from here to the Darnford Park and also the Ecology Park and used as footpath chippings. And then also the stems, as you can see, there's some good girth on those stems. We're going to be taking those, storing them down at our compound. And once they're dried, with the support of our arboricultural partner, Green Escapes, and also the DOE volunteers, we're going to be turning that wood into tabletop planks. So again, it's going to be reused. Once the tree's completely felled, we're going to be grinding the stump out completely, replacing that with topsoil, and then planting a mountain ash or a rowan or the Latin Sorbus acuparia. I had to think about that for a second. So again, a native species of tree that also produces berries in the autumn for birds and wildlife to use.
Many of these trees are self-seeded since the canal was filled in about 60 years ago. By counting the tree rings, it turns out that this spruce tree is nearly 40 years old. It might seem green, but many non-native species offer little food or shelter for our native wildlife. Where possible, by planting native trees, wildflowers, and fruit-bearing species, we create a rich habitat, one that feeds birds, pollinators, and mammals alike.
So this is again another one of the trees that's earmarked for felling this week. Prunus avium, wild cherry. Again, this isn't the end of the story for the tree though. It's always sad to see these go. They're obviously beautiful blossoms in the spring and summer. But the plus side again is the fact that once the tree's removed, we're actually going to be sectioning it and then seizing it. And then the tree is going to be used, or the wood, sorry, is going to be used for turning into bowls in sort of 12 to 14 months' time once it's seasoned properly. So again, this isn't the last you've seen of this particular tree. It will live again, just as in wood products. Said. This is going to be the most interesting one. This is coming down tomorrow. Introduced in about 15th century, I believe. Not that particular one. So another one of the big mature trees that's coming down over the next couple of days is this sycamore. Not native to the UK, introduced, or at least it's been naturalised. It's not native in its to the UK. Introduced, I think, in about 1500, 1600, something like that. It does have some benefits to wildlife, but again, not a great deal. So when we bring this down, again, it's been brought down because of root mitigation, because of the concern of the roots interacting or interfering with the canal line and its infrastructure. But again, when we take the tree down, speaking to Ash again from Green Escapes, our plan is to season the wood and then turn it into chopping boards and cooking utensils. So again, watch this space. I hope in sort of 12 months' time I'm stood here going and holding a chopping board, an LHCRT chopping board for you. So, but yeah, I'm very keen that all of the material that we get is not wasted, basically. I want to see this, and I know the trust supports me in making sure that everything is as circular as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
And again, the crowns out of these trees, most of it's going to be chipped. Again, moved to Darnford Park, Darnford Ecology Park. But also some of the smaller brasher stuff we're going to try and put to one side and use as dead hedging up at the Ecology Park as well, to sort of revet the footpaths up there. And again, creates ecology, habitat creation, what have you, moving forward. So.
What was it again?
Epicormic growth.
Epicormic growth.
It's often,
right.
depending on the species, it's a sign of stress. It's a stress growth.
Yeah.
But I say you'll see a lot of lime drives, and especially around Birmingham, a lot of roads are lined with lime trees, and you'll see that they'll spread that out quite a lot. But yeah, epicormic growth very early on.
Yeah, so we have a load of those down at Darnford Moors, so we just have to keep an eye on them.
That's right. Yeah, it's just about good management. Oh well, it's coming out anyway, so it's not going to be a huge concern, poor thing.
Friday morning, and the contractors are back on site bright and early to tackle the sycamore and the cherry.
trees you can see behind me, the cherry, if I'm pointing hopefully in the right direction, the cherry just over to my left, a maple, and what have you, will be used for, we're going to be involving the DOE tomorrow, and it's kind of upskilling a couple of those guys on tree felling techniques and what have you, and de-limbing. So that work will be taking place tomorrow if anybody's passing. Please obviously don't wander onto the sod.
It's Saturday morning, and we are at Darnford Park as 12 Duke of Edinburgh Award students take on 2 large piles of wood chips.
Morning, Leon. So you're using the DOEs today?
Yes. Green Escapes, our arboricultural contractor, brought the chip up yesterday, and now the guys are going to be moving that and covering the paths with the wood chip. So we've been doing tree felling today up at Tamworth Road. We wanted to upskill a couple of the guys. We only had 2 trees to bring down. We had two big stems that we'd left. So we just wanted to give a couple of the guys some fresh skills.
Yeah.
And how to rope and birds' mouths, back cut, well, that sort of thing. You know, just very simple felling techniques and felling safety. So yeah, all went really well. It's been a busy 3 days, but it's been absolutely fantastic, and everyone's worked really well, really safely, and we've achieved a lot. So really happy, and I'm ready for bed.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
With the volunteers' attention focused elsewhere, we don't hear much about Darnford Park nowadays. A new section is required here to progress from Tamworth Road to the east of the A38. The Channel Basin was dug out about 12 years ago, and Spoyle used to build an environmental mound next to the A38. A planning application was submitted some time ago for the work at Darnford Park, which included the A51 and A38 crossings, but Highways England raised questions about the work. More reports are in process, so the planning application can be fully assessed and hopefully approved. Unfortunately, this meant work had to be paused there, so only grounds maintenance is currently carried out. The A38 highway is just one of several crossings that are major obstacles to the route of the canal. Restoration and environmental improvement isn't just about isolated pockets of habitat, it's about connection. By linking green havens, such as Darnford Moors, Darnford Park and Tamworth Road, with the canal, we will give wildlife the freedom to move, interact and breed. This fresh genetic diversity strengthens species, ensuring their survival for generations. Every tree planted, every native species restored, and every meter of waterway created is a step toward a wilder, healthier future. So, a bit of short-term pain, but a massive long-term gain. Join the Lichfield Canal Trust and help to make this happen. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for updates on our progress. Thank you for watching.